Yeah, over the past couple of days, we've seen all kinds of measures in EU member states, often seemingly contradictory. Last night, after President Macron's speech in which he announced those French measures, a couple hours later, the Belgian Prime Minister announced the measures here. They are also closing schools, but they're going way further than France. They're closing all restaurants, bars, clubs, weddings, gyms. Everything is closed from starting at midnight tonight until April 3rd. Meanwhile, in the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced yesterday that they're not closing things, they're not stopping gatherings, they're not even telling people to stay home. In Germany, you've got different policies for each individual state. It's been a real mishmash. Even in the neighboring Czech Republic, they're taking a totally different tact, focusing on borders, closing their borders to anyone without Czech citizenship or residency, but not paying so much attention to social distancing. So the Commission has come under fire, particularly President von der Leyen, for not coordinating these measures. The difficulty that the EU is in is that these types of policies are not EU competences. They are up to the individual governments of the EU. The EU has no power to tell the EU governments what to do. The criticism, though, is that if President von der Leyen had gotten more involved, more authoritatively earlier, and said, look, we all have to sing from the same hymn sheet here, that we would have better coordinated measures. But right now, you really see EU countries retreating into kind of national responses. That was on evidence, that is on evidence today, because there was a scheduled Interior Ministers' Council meeting happening here in Brussels. It's going ahead, but most of the countries have chosen not to send their interior ministers, instead sending junior people. Why? Because they want to keep the interior ministers at home to deal with the national strategy. And there you have it. The EU member states seem to have given up on having a coordinated EU strategy. They're not even sending ministers here, and they all seem to be going it on their own. We'll see if the Commission can somehow get control of those national actions, but at this point it really does seem like the horse is out of the barn.